All right. Well, so, do you mind sticking around with some other friends I wanted to meet?
I haven't finished my drink.
Is it Jeff Cook? Jeff Cook, are you here?
It's Jeff Davis, Dan. I've known you for years.
Is it Jeff? Is Jeff who the Cook brothers? All right. Is it? So I assume it's not Jeff, or you would have said yes. Oh, okay. Who's the Cook brother that sent me the video, or that sent someone the video of that?
That's me, Alex Cook.
Alex Cook. I was close.
Alex Cook, come to the stage, would you?
And this is your.
I'm the brother.
You're the brother. What's your name? Lee Cook. Okay, you guys. There's microphones for you, right? You can have a seat. Take some mics. So, Alex, you sent this video. Like, I don't know how much of this is supposed to be a surprise. Like, it's like a wedding proposal, or no. There's like you sent a video that said you're a veteran, and you tongue in cheek owned. You're playing the veteran card. That's good. It's a fine card to play. You've served your country. You're out of the service. You've suffered some PTSD stuff or injuries or
no injuries. Just kind of acclimating to being a civilian again after the Army, getting over everything.
And you got your little brother here. And you guys are from where?
I live in Florida now, but he's stationed at Camp Pendleton now. He's a Marine currently.
So, Alex, you're retired Army? Or are you still active?
No, I'm out. I was in for about 5 years. I went to Iraq for a year and Afghanistan for a year.
And now, Lee, you're active Marine.
Yeah, I'm in Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton in San Diego.
Oh yeah? Have you been shipped out or no?
No, I basically just hang out in California and get drunk a lot. So I had a little easier.
My only problem with Camp Pendleton, there's a Del Taco near there that I got the worst food poisoning of my fucking life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right next to the
Right next to
Totally.
So, Alex, it's hard to find fault with anybody that does play the veteran card, which is a fully valid card, but also you seem to love your brother very much and speak very highly of him. And in your video, what you're saying to me is he's in the service, you were in the service, and you just thought maybe because you guys are both big fans of the show that if you came up here and made it more important, that maybe your agenda was to maybe...
Well, we wanted to talk to you. Either didn't need to be on stage. This is awesome. But, we just wanted to be able to talk with you. And the fact that we've had all these different experiences that I don't know if a lot of your fans kind of, the nerdier type people don't tend to be in the military. So,
right. What was your MOS in the Army?
Pretty nerdy one. I was a 46 Romeo, which is a broadcaster. So I shot video and stuff, but I was in an infantry unit and went with them to Iraq and Afghanistan.
You were an Army nerd. I love that.
Yep.
46 Romeo. I love it.
What about you, Lee? I eat tanks.
I'm a engineer, so like basically demolition, construction, C4, shit like that.
So what? So, but you. I mean, your video. Maybe I'm gilding the lily. I don't know. I thought your video was like you kind of like. Am I putting words in your mouth and saying, I'd like to talk to my little brother, like, I'd like to kind of talk him out of serving?
Oh, no, that's
I don't
not
think
necessary.
I need to.
Yeah, I'm almost done, and then I'm home free.
I thought, here's what I thought when I saw that video.
Hang on, Dan. Meaning what? You're going to...
Yeah, I got like 11 months left, and then I'm getting out and moving back to Florida and hanging out.
And then retiring, or...?
No, I haven't been in long enough to like officially retire and get like pension and stuff like that, but I'll use the GI Bill. I want to go to school for music, and so I'll go do that in Florida and hang out. Yeah.
Well done.
The two things that hit my mind were like, well, number one, this is a pretty contractual issue. I think you're in it until you're out of it, and number two, correct me if I'm wrong, but if your brother's enough of a sociopath that a podcast would convince him to not risk his life or risk his life, then maybe he's the kind of heartless killing machine we need in the armed services. I mean, like that's where we want people that are that programmable and deadly.
Who has a better ooh-ah or oora?
Oora. Hua doesn't make any sense. Even to say it's not a real sound.
Right.
It's not.
What? Because
I never really could do a good hua.
All right, that was my answer.
Neither.
So your experience, Lee, has been a lot easier than your older brothers. You the same training and all this stuff, but you're coming up in 11 months on you'll go home and you got training, you got the GI Bill. Alex, you were in the shit, albeit a nerd in the shit. You were shooting the shit.
Probably.
Is it worse? Is it like what's that?
You're more isolated. Definitely, you can't bro out with all the meatheads out there. You're
those Hurt Locker guys have all the fun. Wrestling each other because they have to have an intimate relationship with death.
Alex, where were you stationed?
I was stationed at Fort Campbell in Kentucky at the 101st Airborne Division, but went to Iraq for a year in East Baghdad, Sadr City, and then Afghanistan for a year in East Afghanistan.
So when you're doing what you did out there, like where physically, like are you? Like what's your home base? Like
it's called a Forward Operating Base, or FOB. That's where we lived. And in Iraq, it was the old Ministry of Intelligence, I think, like Saddam Hussein's Ministry of Intelligence, that we kind of just moved into. So it's like big old cement buildings. And then in Afghanistan, it was just kind of a camp that we set up with tents on gravel. But I'd go out on patrols and missions and stuff like that with the guys to shoot videos.
Lee, what would it mean right now? Like if you got sent out, like where we are, like as the U.S. right now, if a Marine...
If Trump invaded Mexico.
If a Marine got sent out to the desert right now, or I mean, I don't know, are they still deploying Marines out there?
Yeah, right now it's kind of a peacetime Marine Corps. They're basically making moves like we do Muse Marine something fucking. It's an acronym. You go on a boat. And you visit Asian countries and you like show your force around the world.
That sounds nice.
And I have some buddies that are in like Lithuania and shit, just showing that we exist. But for the most part, we're just doing like peacetime. Like building hearts and minds missions and stuff like that. So if I went anywhere right now, it'd probably be a pretty uneventful deployment. Just
sometimes you have to do photo ops where you hand a blanket to a hurricane survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
I was the photographer that did those photo ops.
Yeah, but at your age, Lee, like let's say you were deployed overseas and you were an active Marine, like anything could happen right now. Like some serious shit could go down. Like you could be. Like, you'd be thrust right in there. Yeah,
that's like so. Super recently, deployment opportunity has come up for next year sometime, and it's a 6-month deployment. But by the time it ends, I'll have supposed to have been out of the Marine Corps for 1 month, so I can do a 6-month extension to go on the deployment or not go and get out early. And it's like with my luck, I'll lose my legs or something. Or I could go and do that and like take the gamble. So like,
what's the upside for you? Like a bigger pension or?
Well, it's total brainwashing too, because like I haven't been deployed or anything like that, and we live in a like me everyday life is around all these people who like, oh yeah, I was there for the initial push in Fallujah or whatever. So like, I'm at a lower status than them. Based off my experience in the military. So, like, you have that just ingrained into you since day one that you want to go out and do things and stuff like that. But then you also get, like, you don't pay taxes for the time that you're deployed. You get, like, combat pay. You get,
but
like,
you can do that by losing $1 billion.
Yeah.
You get that, too. You don't even have to be in a tent. Sorry, I cut you off.
No.
You're...
I was very lucky that I got to go like perform like for some USO shows like for Marines and Army and some air bases, and we also got to go to some Bethesda and Walter Reed, like the hospitals where most of the wounded Marines are at, and it was fucking crazy, man. Like that's everybody's blown to bits, and some of the nicest coolest people you ever met, it's nuts.
Yeah, and what just like people getting blown to bits. Like I obviously have never seen it firsthand, but I work with people and I'm around people so often that have had that. Like right now, I actually got tasked out, so I just check IDs at the gate, and I'm like, "Welcome to Camp Pendleton. Have a nice day." But there's this old dude who calls himself Agent Whitehead, and he has a retired military ID, so we have to let him on base. But he's always like saying that he can like mind control people and stuff like that, and he has like 2 prosthetic legs. But like, and he's a Vietnam vet, so like that dude got messed up. Fucking like that dude.
Where are you guys at?
I want to know a lot more about Agent Whitehead.
That's classified.
Can we get him on the show?
For all we know, he's in the back right now, watching us through night vision goggles. And where are you guys at politically? I mean, like, there's been this tradition, like, I'm a Republican, so I'm into war and strong armed forces and defense and all that stuff. But it's like Truman was a Democrat and he was a civil rights advocate and dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Get the other one right, Dan.
Suzuki, maybe?
These words have changed so much. Like politically, though, like from you guys span a couple years now in the armed services. Like the guys and gals around you, are they right wing, like to the
They're
max?
Mostly right wing to the max.
And
yeah.
are they pretty like kind of like? Do they say shit that makes you like crazy?
One thing I find a lot in the like I'm as left as you can get, just about slightly less than him maybe, but like one thing I find is like, yeah, Trump sucks, but
right, and that shrug is like there's the world in that shrug. It's like,
I mean, I grab women by the pussy too. Like, what do you want?
Because our forefathers did. Yeah. I mean, well, so how do you reconcile being politically liberal? Do you disguise yourself if you're surrounded? You're in a because I imagine there's right wing people in Hollywood that kind of like. They probably feel a little clammed up, like they don't want to alienate themselves. It could cost them money. It could cost them livelihood. I don't know how many. It just doesn't go with the territory. But then again, they must exist. So what do you guys do when you're in a tent or a barracks or some army term, military term, and people say something like, do you engage and go like, no, I'm gonna change your hearts and minds, like.
I can't speak for him, but I personally am like, let me tell you why you're wrong. And then I go into a spiel, and I'm like, I'm the only liberal Marine ever. I'm great. So,
all right.
Yeah, I definitely stayed more quiet when I was in the Army, and this was, like, I deployed to Iraq in 2003, so it was pretty recent after 9/11, and everyone was kind of, like, ramped up to go over there and kill people.
What was your unit?
I was in the 506th Infantry Regiment in the 101st Airborne Division, which is actually technically the Band of Brothers guys from the HBO thing.
When we did our USO shows, we did shows for like NATO, like doctors, and so like you do comedy for them. Like you can reference Voltaire, and like they dig it. We also did a show for the Big Red One, which is straight up infantry grunts, and they were just like proud. Murderers.
Yeah.
And they were great fun, but their job is to go in there and like
different audience.
Their tip of the spear. And if you didn't do a joke about blowing shit up or fucking and sucking, they weren't digging it.
I imagine you have to get to that space in order to. I mean, your job, if you're going to do it well, or even if you're not invested in doing it well, but you're only invested in maintaining your sanity, you obviously. I mean, that's the definition of a soldier, right? You have to leave your humanity at the door. You have to become a machine because the hierarchy and everything, it's like reliant. Even that's the weird thing about this country is that we act like there's this like left and right hand, but it's like the lefties in our country argue that we need thicker body armor. Like there's we're
goddamn ambidextrous is what they are.
we're a right of center empire. Why wouldn't you be right of center if you were an empire? You would be conservative because you'd like things to be the way they were yesterday, more so than to have them change. And it's our behavior that would indicate that we have people in our country that vote and pay taxes and speak very loudly about how incredibly left we are. But when we measure our country as a collective and observe our behavior, we are full on into blowing shit up. We're full on into occupying spaces, influencing democracy across the globe, depending on our interests. Like we're down to fuck. And so, what is my point?
Well, let me just say, I don't think I mentioned this in the little video, but
I guess my point was just that if I got drafted, if I was not 43 and I wouldn't immediately have a million reasons why I couldn't, but I would absolutely. I mean, there's only one path. Like you would have to go. Like, okay, yes, I surrender all of my critical thinking because otherwise I'm gonna keep fucking up and I could hurt somebody. I could fuck something up for everybody if I don't just put blinders on and just like I gotta just like I wouldn't be capable of doing it successfully, but like that would be my choice.
That's for me that's a shitty thing. It's like the more you think, the stupider you are. Like if someone is like, hey, you fucked up, so you got to go do lunges up and down a hallway for 5 hours or whatever, you're like, okay, I'm going to go do lunges for no reason, and I'll think about something else. Like, there's no opportunity as a lower-ranking person to be like, I'm smarter than my leader, I have a better frame of mind than him, a better, geopolitical understanding of the situation than him or her, so I'm going to make this decision.
Yeah, I don't even want that in my editor. Like on a sitcom, that will cost money and make us a worse television show.
Riley,
like you need blind loyalty.
I'm sorry, Riley. Do people in the porn industry ever get asked to go to USO shows, like to go perform with the troops?
I mean, I get asked to the military ball once a week, but
like people go out and perform. Like the troops would flip if you came out there.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't personally go and perform like sex shows and stuff.
No. I mean, like just. I'm not saying.
Just appearing.
I'm saying
You would
get on stage and do like porn. I'm saying like if you went out there and just like shook hands and said hello and met people, they'd freak out.
Probably a lot of the locals would be pretty upset about it, to be honest.
The locals.
Like in Iraq and Afghanistan, they're Muslim countries, so porn was not allowed at all in the military. But obviously, I'm sure I first saw Mr.
I've
Reed here
sent
from
many
a war
porn.
zone.
Yeah, I've sent many. I send care packages to guys in the Army very often.
Well, all right.
What is in that care package, Riley?
My panties.
Chocolate candies.
So your service to our country and your love of your brother has gotten you up here. We're very fascinated to hear from you. You're a good egg. Like what do you want to do with this opportunity? Is there any albums to plug or any props? If you're yes on 60, let's hear your counterpoint. Or what? Yeah, anything you want to say?
No, I don't think we have any plugs. We just wanted to be able to chat with you. And
is there anything when you're listening to the podcast that you're like, well, geez, none of these people on stage or listening are in military service? If they knew what we knew, maybe is there anything that you've heard us express that you're like, well, come on?
I've got a few.
I'll read it on Jeff's Twitter later.
But are you saying, Lee, that Alex has talked you out of going into active service? Like you?
Oh no! Like, so I have a daughter, and she was born when I was 18. And I was like, well, I'm not going to finish college, so I'm going to join the military and have a life that way. And so that's why I joined. And then I was like, I was already super liberal and shit like that before that. And, I'm ready to get out. That's all.
And I think it adds to the story a little bit that our dad is a career military Army officer. And so we spent our lives as kids moving around every 2 years around the world. And our parents are very conservative. So we definitely grew up in that world and, had to figure out.
Was it like a Great Santini thing? Was he a hardcore dude or is it?
I don't know if you know what parade rest is, but when my dad was angry at me, that's how I stood in front of him. which is a military position of attention.
What is that exactly?
Feet,
And for how long?
feet shoulder width apart, hands behind your back.
Whenever he was done.
Really? Like, wait, what would be
And then
the
I'd get beat, and then I'd go to bed. And lesson learned.
fucking hell?
Spare the rod.
Here's like when I went to these shows and I met these officers and I met these enlisted men and women. They were like, "Hey Jeff, you should really, you ever think about being an officer?" I'm like, "No, like I hate."
You're too smart.
I
You're too
hate,
smart,
I
Jeff.
hate being told what to do. And they go, "Yeah, but all officers hate being told what to do." It's like, "Yeah, but I would be in jail the whole time because I don't like all these fucking rules." They're like, "Yeah, that's what all great generals say." I'm like, "You're freaking me out! Like, get out of fucking stop it!"
Something I've never understood. Maybe you guys can clarify this. If you're nerds and you're in the military, and you've experienced this, am I mistaken in assuming that no matter who's been president through the span of our country's history, there's never been a dramatic I know that Republicans are better at starting entire wars, and I guess that's better for the military, but I don't think you guys think like that when you're in that line of work. I don't think you're like firemen don't go, "Oh, this guy's pro-fire. I want him to be my candidate."
No.
Well, you're firemen. Your job is to put out wars. I mean, it's not in other words, it's not like it's like a jackpot.
Is your average Marine or your average Army soldier are they gung ho and
They want to kill motherfuckers.
they want war?
They are gonna vote for whoever is most likely to start the next war.
But it's because of their ideology, right? It's not because of anything practical. Where it's like Hillary Clinton, as far as I know, just like Obama before her, Bill Clinton, these aren't people who reduce the amount of fucking up people we do, are they?
No.
They're the defense budget stays the same and increases at the rate that it increases. Correct?
I think the only president that hasn't declared war was Carter. I think every Democrat that except for him maybe has
it's almost
gone
like
to
the
war.
president doesn't matter at all, except when he's a fucking lunatic that can actually. I don't think we would have invaded Iraq if Al Gore had been president. That's the classic example. You can't just
We'd
you
all
can't
be
picture
driving
that
Priuses
happening.
if Al Gore was president. That'd be great.
But you spent your military career and got your GI Bill paid. You've been at Camp Pendleton. You haven't been stationed in a country that we're occupying or fighting. Our defense budget continues to it's more important than education.
That shit better fucking pay for my college or I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, but we have bad news for you. While you've been gone, we've made your college education worthless. Enjoy it. Enjoy your degree in fucking whatever. But because we haven't valued education as much as we have defense, and for that reason, it kind of confuses me when I see video footage of rooms full of hardworking men and women that are salt of the earth that grew up in lower middle class neighborhoods and who volunteered for military service, who are so invested in who becomes commander in chief of our military, and it's like. You don't think Obama is gonna be a boon to your industry?
Well, I was in Afghanistan when Obama was inaugurated, and it was like a funeral out there. Everyone was
because they think he's gonna what? Pull back from all Muslim countries. I'm a secret Muslim, and I hate blowing things up. People. And, even if he did pull everybody back, he'd assign you to the Attorney General's office so you could go raid dispensaries. There's always work for a hypocritical politician to assign people who know how to kill people.
Alex, what you said is a funeral. What was the mood on base?
Everyone was just disappointed, distraught, just thought it was the worst thing that could happen to our country, that he didn't really love America, saying, Obama, it's one letter away from Osama, and really meaning it.
His middle name is Saddam.
Hussein, not Saddam.
Same shit.
So we don't want to think that about our military. I want to think of them and police as people who are so close to the action that they know the nuts and bolts, that there would be a culture shock in a conversation with them, and the politics would be different, but it would be because of real things. It wouldn't be because of hypnotism. For somebody who actually has to be the one whose hand is on the lever or finger on the trigger, I would expect them. I would grant them the right to be so hardcore right wing because of their real basic like fundamental philosophy and the risks that they take and stuff. But it's disappointing to hear that it's more like, yeah, as in the trailer park, so in the military.
They watch
Fox
hey, News in the where you eat.
They just because it's like it's almost like that makes the job separate from the ideology. That it's like, well, the job is to have to deal with the repercussions of how we think, but like we don't like. They're just thinking the same shit.
You have to think that way to be happy doing that, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to bounce out because I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I feel like if I'm a soldier and Obama gets elected, I'm like, that dude's going to blow up shit like nobody's business because he's a Democrat.
I think you just barely touched on it maybe, but like the whole Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the flag, national anthem and shit like that. People are like, he hates the troops, but it's more like, why does disagreeing with certain things America has a trend for standing for mean that you don't appreciate the people that go and fight for the things that you do happen to stand for?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't... You know what I'm saying.
And you know, there's liberal nerds in the military, and there's all different stripes in the military. There's definitely that mainstream right-wing, go kill Muslims culture, but I don't want to shit all over everyone. You know, I met other nerds there and other bright people that.
Well, that's the conflict that we're in. That's the last thing we want to do. But like, you know, that is a thing. Like, it's like that also gets taken advantage of. In the '90s, we developed this phrase: "Support our troops." Like we're like because we figured out that like oh, who the hell can't support our troops? What are you, a monster? You're talking about young men and women like risking their lives for our country, but it was like if it wasn't support our troops, it would be support the war. And it's easy to not support a war. It's impossible to not support the troops. And so that's an abusable ideology. It's like and so stateside, when we get reminded of the fact that like, oh, in Vietnam, and then these poor kids came home and we spit on them because we confused them with the people that sent them there. We're never going to make that mistake again. But that growth on our part was absolutely abused by a war machine that told us, yeah, don't do that anymore, ever again, and no news coverage and blah, 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 support our troops. And it was like, it was used for fucked up purposes. And like so we sit over here and we go like, I don't even know what to fucking like how to treat veterans, you know, it's like except to say, and then you get this like empire where we just go like, well, I'm liberal, so I want these guys who lost their arms and legs to be taken care of. I want them to have better armor on their Humvees when they're patrolling the areas. I keep like, I'm a liberal, what? Yeah, all right, okay.